Afternoons on ABC Radio Canberra.
Now I want to move the conversation to side hustle. This term that's becoming more and more prevalent, the idea that you find something else that you can do on top of your regular job or maybe on top of your caring duties, and it brings in a little bit of extra money. And for the most part, I think it brings in a lot of extra joy, because anyone you know who has a bit of a side hustle, they don't just talk about it like a regular 9 to 5. There's always passion and excitement. And one woman who I think will be sharing that passion and excitement with us in just a minute is Melissa Ellis. So she's a mum of 4 and she's a full-time reseller of secondhand books. She also has a YouTube channel called Back from Burnout, which traces her adventures. And she joins me in the studio now. Welcome to the show, Melissa.
Thank you for having me.
We talk about these side hustles. How did you get into yours?
I was a family photographer here in Canberra. I was having some health issues, so I'd taken some time off the family photography because the photography equipment is very heavy and I had a lot of chronic pain. So while I was taking some time off, I signed up to Instagram under the name Back from Burnout, and I kind of was just using Instagram as a way to find myself again. And during that time I found the reselling community. It was there that I learned all about a whole genre that I never even knew about. People going to the op shops, going out to Vinnies and Salvos, purchasing things from, the secondhand shops and then reselling them on eBay.
That's so cool. And that's usually the root of a lot of these successful businesses. Even when you hear someone has come up with this great little product, and made $1 million or whatever it is, and oftentimes it's just a simple need that they had, whether it's to solve a problem or, in your case, bring in a little bit of extra money and not have to lug around the camera equipment. Yeah. How flexible is this business?
Oh, very flexible, because eBay is a 24-hour business. So whether or not you've got spare time in the morning, in the afternoon, or even late in the evening, if you've got small kids, it might even be after they've gone to bed. You can be as flexible as you want. The only thing that's really important to do during the day is to get your shipping down to Australia Post. But,
of course, because you can't be doing that at midnight,
you can't be doing that at night. But in the evening when the kids are at bed, or in the daytime when they're napping, you can be taking some photos, or you can take the kids out to the op shops and source and do things like that. So
because having 4 kids is no mean feat, that's a full-time job as it is, so you are able to squeeze this work around their many needs. I can't imagine you're not a taxi driver and a cook and all these other things that mums have to be, and dads. So then you can work around them quite flexibly. Was this successful to start with? Did you have an inkling that this was going to be really successful, or was it a bit of a drawn-out process to actually get it making money?
I think you can make money fairly fast from doing it, and it really comes down to the amount of time you want to put into it. The more you list, the more money you will make on eBay. It's really as simple as that. So it's the bigger you want to grow, you've got that possibility to really take it as far as you want to take it.
And what sorts of products? So we've mentioned that you do books. Mm-hmm. Are there any specific types of books that you like to sell?
I love to sell all books, but I'm particularly attracted to buying the women's chick lit, romance, cookbooks, anything that's kind of a little bit girly related. But I also really love selling self-help as well, because I love reading those kind of books. So I'm more attracted to selling what I actually like to read myself, but there's plenty of monies in all different types of genres of books.
And how do you said you go to op shops. How else do you source your books?
Yeah, so I'm sourcing op shops, Vinnies, Salvos. I'm sourcing at book fairs, Lifeline, travelling in a state to different book fairs, Rotary book fairs. Also just on Facebook Marketplace and Gumtree, looking for people who are wanting to offload or give away books, or putting books up for sale and purchasing off them, and trying to get as many bulk buys as I can, so that that's much easier than going out and just cherry picking a handful at a time.
Yeah, and if you can get a set together and sell it or something like that, yeah?
Yep, I love to bundle up books together and kind of do those value bundles, because that works well with the Australia Post. I can fit more books into a satchel, and it's value for the customer. Cost effective and value for the customer as well.
On the program a couple of times we've had various guests, and we've talked about, with the emergence of e-readers, that the tangible handheld book could be slowly disappearing. For the most part, I think people disagree. They say we still love the feel of a book, leafing through a cookbook or reading a book in bed. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. And I think a testament to that is if you go down to one of the Lifeline book fairs, there is thousands and thousands of people who still love to shop for a proper
lugging books.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I have been there looking for cookbooks, and I am not the only one who is holding so many that it's not physically possible to hold anymore, but I'll try and put another one on top.
Yep.
Because they're a bit addictive, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think books are here to stay for the long haul.
I am imagining a house just filled with books. How do you store all of these?
So my husband has actually custom built me a shed out in the backyard.
Oh, perfect.
So I actually don't keep it inside the house, although I have just I have just done a really large haul, large purchase of buying 10,000 Mills and Boon books. So I haven't been able to fit all of those in the shed, and I do have some currently sitting in our lounge room.
I have so many questions. For anyone who has been living under a rock and doesn't know what a Mills and Boon book is, could you just give us a brief and let's just say child-friendly summary?
It's basically a women's romance novel, but Mills and Boon have been around since the early 1900s, 1909 I think it was, and they've been making women's romance books, and they come in lots of different subgenres between historical, medical, intrigue, and so they're according to Google, there is one Mills and Boon book sold every 10 seconds worldwide.
And I dare say that at least one listener in Canberra will have a nan or a grandma who has them on a shelf or hidden somewhere.
Yes.
Hannah Head, our lovely producer, is pointing to herself. It's just, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong with the demographic. It's something I associate with nans.
Yes, it is very much, they do refer to them for the nanas.
Yeah, but that's fine. And I think anyone can enjoy them. That's loads of fun. So you've just bought, where on earth do you buy 10,000 Mills and Boon books from?
That actually came from a collector here in Canberra. She's amazing. She has the most amazing collection. It's unbelievable. And
incredible.
Yeah, she's just looking to downsize her collection a little bit as she's getting a little bit older, and I was happy to take them on.
You were the benefiter of that. So then tell us, you've also got this YouTube channel, and I think this diverges a little bit because you sell the books on online selling platforms. That's how you make your money in your business.
Yeah.
But then the YouTube channel is slightly different. It's more about a message. And what's that all about?
Yeah, the YouTube channel is more about my personal journey and the highs and the lows of reselling, because it's not always an easy thing to do. There are highs and lows when you work from home and you're working by yourself. It can be hard to sometimes self-motivate yourself.
Isolating.
Yeah, quite isolated, and it can be a little bit lonely. So the YouTube is so wonderful because there's a large community of resellers around on YouTube, and I just love sharing the whole journey about it, but also teaching other people how to do it, and showing people how to get onto selling on eBay if they're interested.
So you use it as a bit of a tutorial in case people want to do the same thing as you, but also, I mean, the name back from Burnout.
Yep.
Obviously refers to a period in your life where you've come back from that state.
Yes.
So you're also then offering a platform to discuss burnout?
Yeah, like I kind of go through stages even with my eBay reselling where I'm up and down, and I do kind of push hard sometimes, and then I will crash and burn again. So I share all that on YouTube, and I kind of share those highs and lows. It's just kind of part of my personality. And even though the Back from Burnout name came originally from Instagram, where I was trying to find myself again, I did wonder about changing it into more of a kind of like a reselling name, but I just feel like Back from Burnout is so fitting for me because it suits my personality, and I feel like probably for the rest of my life I will roll in and out of burnout because it's just the type of personality I have.
And maybe it's relatable to a lot of people, because I had a quick glance and you seem to have quite an interaction with your community on the YouTube, because I think you go live sometimes on your YouTube.
Yeah.
What experiences have you had with people who have benefited from your message?
Oh, so the community is amazing. I get so many private messages from people saying how much I've helped them, how they're mums with small children and they never thought they'd be able to stay home, and now they're making money from home. Not even just selling books, like I'm relatable to anybody who looks to resell, and I started off selling clothes and shoes and things like that as well from Vinnie's and Salvos. So things that I teach on eBay aren't necessarily only for people who want to sell books. I'm very much about finding what you like and what you love to do and then making that your side hustle.
And I think you're an inspiration then, because you had an idea for the life you wanted to live and then you built it. You know, you said, I want to have a flexible situation where I can look after my 4 kids but also be earning some money. Yeah. And then you did it.
Yeah, well, having 4 kids is expensive to put them into childcare and things like that.
Is.
So it's such a benefit to be able to, all my life I've kind of stayed home doing little jobs that I can do on my own. But the reselling and the YouTube is definitely the most fun and the most enjoyable thing I've ever done.
Would you ever resell anything other than books?
Oh yeah, I think I definitely would. You know, I actually started selling Nike shoes from the Fishwick factory outlet.
Really?
That was how I got into it. I was buying the Nike shoes and flipping them for more on eBay.
Didn't even know that was a thing you could do.
Yeah, and then I kind of switched to doing clothes and shoes and books and anything really. And then when when the pandemic hit, the books became more popular, and that was when I just started taking on more and more books, and I've been niched down to books now. But if the market was to change in any way, I would definitely be open to looking at different types of niches and genres that I'd be able to move into reselling. I think it's a good reseller adapts with the times.
And given the conversations we've had today on the radio, may I suggest board games?
Board games, yeah. Vintage board games sell very well on eBay.
Yes, that's right. And nostalgic sort of board games, I can imagine. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you. If people want to find you, if they want to know more about what you do, where can they find you?
Well, they can find me on YouTube under the name Back From Burnout, or even I'm pretty active over on Instagram under the same name, Back From Burnout.
Awesome. Thanks for your time today, Melissa.
Thanks for having me.